Right, so as I was saying, first order of business is to get some FX pairs up on the board. Try to do a top-down analysis, not too far, just normal top-down. So we have UCAD, EU. What else do I have? GU, GJ for the culture. And I think that should be it. Gold, not sure. No problemo. Here it is. I'm gonna start everything on the H1 chart. The naked chart. AU, I thought that AU, my bad. Thank you. Chart window. Naked. H1. All right, so let's start with AU, since AU is here. So looking at AU, what do we have here? It's just a little bit though. Making sure that this don't pop up on the chart. So what do we have here for AU? Looking at the hourly range and price action that's happening on the hourly chart. So we have this here being the last high that we got broken. FVG. Let's use a relatively nice color like this. Should be easy to see. AU resting inside the hourly FVG right now. The daily chart for AU, however, is a little bit on the suspicious side of life. Based on the things I look for in a chart. This rally on AU was, while it wasn't expected, it made sense because usually when a daily chart is moving, we're looking for a liquidity run or rebalance. When you take a look at this, all of this right here is very nice trendline liquidity. All right, all that is trendline liquidity, or you could just call them failure swings. The last time we had a stop point was here, and it was taking out that high. Then relatively equal highs right here. So that looks really good for AU upside, but we don't have a bullish July for AU based on seasonals. Then I'm looking for, after this day here, when was the last time we had a daily candle going above previous candles high? That would have been here. So this high was around here. So this is the last daily stop point. You could keep doing that coming down relatively equal here. I think this was around. And then what you'll see is there exists quite a bit of liquidity on the upside. All of these levels are liquidity levels. Not this, because that was rated. So the failure swing would have been this one. All these are liquidity levels, right? So we have a whole lot of liquidity building in a range on a higher time frame that looks relatively enticing. That's a large move, right? So I'm looking at AU running here. The thing about this is, again, seasonals don't get bullish until October. So range in AU is on the table, which means we have to factor in same analysis to the downside. These lows, this is the last time we got major raid on sell side. All of this is now spooling liquidity. So there's a large range, and we can easily frame ideas around price running higher or price running low. So with that in mind, I'm expecting the next couple of weeks on AU to range inside here. So it doesn't matter if it drops down here or push up here, I won't be surprised. I'll still be trading it on a lower time frame, possibly. So with that in mind, here, we're resting above this FEG right here after the stop point. This is no confirmation as to what to expect next. This could simply be a stop point in fair value, and we're looking for market to close above and continue trading higher. Unless we close below this FEG, I'm not going to be overwhelmingly bearish. So it's a sit on your hands type of structure for AU, or wait for more information. If we hop to, what's this, UCAD. Quick daily. Daily range for UCAD looks very wild, but the overarching structure already looks like it's breaking out. So we have lower lows, higher highs at the same time until here. So the last impulse was this, around here, we rejected and came back low. So we have EU news in 6 minutes. 1 sec. So let's prioritize EU then, since most persons are probably looking at EU. Yeah, like I said, Forex pairs are going to come alive today. It just makes sense. It makes sense for Forex pairs to come alive. So same idea. The last time we had a daily high running above a previous daily high on AU was all the way up here. This high was the last daily high that was run. Unless my eyes are playing tricks on me. Yep, that's a lot. Well, here, but this wouldn't be merited since all of that happened first. This would have been that level that you focus on for a market structure shift inside the range. The last time we had daily lows being run would have been these here. So that creates a potential range. It's there. There. So that's what we currently have. Now, once we find a price level, you want to find structure that support the idea that price could trade there. First thing I'm seeing is this guy right here. Low hanging objectives. So when I drop to a lower time frame, I'm going to be, I'm going to use a black line. I'm going to go with the premise that that high is where we're drawn to. So just in case you're wondering where the lines come from, that's it. Hourly chart. Where's my hourly range? Same thing like UCAD. This was the last time that we had price running higher. There's that impulse. FEGs right here. Second FEG is the one I love. So no close below this FEG as well. So initial bias was EU is likely to trade higher. Second confirmation, we're resting here. Third thing now would be intraday liquidity. So real quickly, I'm just gonna sacrifice one of these charts. Throw EU on. Let's take a look at EU today. I have a very large London range. Now I may have said this on a call before, but whenever we have a large London range, it's always a good thing to frame everything around London range and keep your focus there. If we break out, good. If we don't, fine. So since this is a very large range, my New York trading levels would have been highest closing up candle in London, lowest closing down candle in London. So whichever of these candles has the lowest closing price, the down candles. I'm gonna go out on a whim and say, looks like this one here. So let's get that open. Probably should have opened up this too for completeness sake. So that gives me the opportunity to get a potential 30, 40 points in New York. How am I going to get that? I'm going to, first of all, not trade inside the middle of the range, but one of these extremes. So if I'm bullish, I would be refining what we have here, try to find where would be an ideal area to get in when their run stops, or if their run stops. This would be a nice area to run and then higher. But it's news, and if it's high impact news, it gets scary. So at this point in time, just find the failure swing that holds liquidity. This is a bearish range, which means lower highs inside a bearish range should hold liquidity. It could be liquidity to go short. It could be liquidity as a buy side draw. Which one? You never know, but you need to know where the liquidity is, or you become the liquidity. So we have end of London open kill zone, ICT's definition. Should know that by now. Here's that run up. Short-term highs in here. I would like this run for New York. Even if I was bullish and I was trading EU, I would like this here. And then when we get here, I make my next decision. That's what I would like. For the EU fans, let's take a look at that. We'll come back to EU in a sec. But that's all for EU. What's the other pair that everybody loves to hate? This guy. Daily chart for GU, same idea. This is a little bit easy now, since the last time we had a run above previous daily high was here and here. I'm gonna use failure swing after. Clearly I won't use this because we have already broken out of that. This is the last time we had a run to the downside. Clearing out both of these. I'm gonna focus on this one here. Oh, let's just use the liquidity draw, which is that. So a smaller dealing range or a smaller potential trading range for GU. Oh, that's actually nice. It's here. We have a daily imbalance resting down here. Of a daily FEG resting right there. I think we're now inside the daily FEG. Right there. I'm using this line instead of this line because the colors makes it, or the different colors makes it easier to see when I want a lower time frame. So I don't have to be like, what's that black line again? What's that black line again? So here we are. Now this is a little bit different from all the other charts that we looked at. Once we drop to the daily chart, most of the other charts had the high being lower and then the run being somewhere deeper. Then the FVG was down there. With this now, we have this low that we know from the daily chart was a daily FVG. Refined to a lower time frame. Do we have a FVG at that level as well? We do. It would have been this one here. So while the structure is a little bit different, the process remains the same. So that's the FVG I'd be looking for. If we close below that, we could potentially go low. Now to refine this FVG, I'm gonna use that high. On this time frame, when was the last stop point to the downside? This high stop point. We haven't, yeah, I think we just closed below here. So now, if this is going to trade lower to run FVGs, we have to look at the range from this high down to that low there, or even this red line. Put a fib on it, and if I was short, or if I had intentions of going short, I'd be now looking inside that range for what are the areas that jumps out for price to retrace to. If I can see them, I wait for them. If I can't, then I move on. Don't form fit. Short-term high inside here. This is premium short-term high. So I'd prefer this for a short if I was bearish. If it stays inside here, then that's a no trade. I'm not going to try to short this. I'm not going to try to buy this. There's not enough structural confirmation to do anything here. So I have to wait for price to move away from a level like this. So whatever your method is, if price is at a decision point and you're trying to decide if you should go bullish or bearish here, as long as it stays here, we do nothing. Not necessarily a break and retest idea, but we need displacement in one direction. So then we can frame if it's, I lost my train of thought, I read the chat. Displacement frames the direction, the likely direction. Somebody said something about EU. Okay. Wait, I think we had a 5-minute chart. Yeah, it's recorded. It's recorded and I'll post it. All right, so EU ran the buy side. EU H1 no. This looks like the draw. This looks like the first draw. If we run here, I'd expect a retracement. I haven't traded EU in a while for the culture. For the culture. But same structure here as we have on this one here. GU hasn't cleared these eyes to give us any idea of, is this a run on the short-term liquidity to go lower or what? It's just staying there. So in a case like today, if I was trying to decide EU or GU, EU is moving, GU is not. This price action is likely to frustrate you if you try to buy here, even though I don't see a reason to. This would have you thinking, should I close? Should I go partials? That's too much mental capital wasted on a pair. That's not showing me enough information. SMT. So in that department, I have to not share any opinions because I am not a SMT trader. I don't look at it at all. I don't think I'm the best person to say yes or no, simply. So yeah, GJ, I didn't get to GJ in time. Wow. Large London range again, so highest closing up candle. I don't think it's on this. It's not. Why is it not there? I didn't put it there. Highest closing up candle right here. Just put a line there for visual purposes. That right there would be where I'd be looking for this guy to be drawn to. Finally, GU is moving. It's a lot of room left for this to go up. So don't try to pick the top. Don't get burned trying to do that. UCAD. So EU, GU pushing, UCAD going down, suggesting bearish DXY. Is NAS flying? Oh, NAS is flying. So it's pretty much all FX pairs. Did I miss any? I didn't talk about A. I did talk about AU. Yeah, there we go. I knew you'd bite. Gold, yeah, gold for the gold guys. For gold, the daily chart doesn't have enough data being represented right here for you to make an informed decision. So you'd have to do a proper top down for this. Relatively equal lows, first thing. That's the focus. I think that's the focus. Whatever I say on these calls is what I think. Not financial advice, not licensed to do so. Disclaimer for everyone. USD TRY. What is this madness? I haven't looked at that pair since the last time I looked at it. After a news event like this, when do you start feeling comfortable to get into trades? So whatever your strategy is, even if it's trading news, you don't want it to be a case where news dictates your direction. Shouldn't. The liquidity levels should dictate your direction. So my general rule is if it's a high impact news, I'm watching the first 5-minute candle after the news hits. So if news hits at 9:30, that first 5-minute candle, I want to watch that play out on a 1-minute chart. If we trade to my liquidity objective and it rejects, then I'm looking at market structure shifts and then lower price. If it's the opposite, then we do nothing. But essentially, you always want to frame the range that you're looking at before the news event happens. And you should be able to see the liquidity so that even if so let's say we had this mark up here as the liquidity and the news ran this to here. I wouldn't be now looking for price to break and keep going. Once a liquidity target is met, I expect some amount of retracement, even if this market is screaming bullish. It's a target and then retrace. If the liquidity target is here and I see them running sell side first, then I look for sell side run, shift, and then target the liquidity here. This is a monthly chart that could take years. Yeah, EU still looking like it needs to do something, and I want it to do something low. I don't think we finished UCAD anyway, but large London range, imbalances, and the lowest closing down candle will be my focus. Needs to close below this guy here. Gold trading into a weekly busy. Yeah, I was about to hop to the weekly for gold. Thank you. But weekly busy here. I feel more comfortable with this. This is a level of liquidity. Huge imbalance. So this week opened aggressively. Then we had accumulation below fair value, pushed, then we had a reaccumulation at fair value. Then it skied. So when it gets here now, if this market is bearish, we should crush this closing price. So let's put that on, even though I might never look at gold again. We should crush that closing price, and then that could come on the menu, 1635. This price action here is sketchy. There's so many imbalances down here that we can have an event like this or like this. But I think we already having that here, where we have prolonged lower draw to lower prices. These imbalances here is what I'm looking at. Too many of them. Nice fractal in there as well. NAS and gold moving in tandem. Very suspicious. Wait, I thought NAS was rallying. Let's get to NAS. I have no idea what these charts are for. But wow. It's a relatively large London range. So we have the highs being taken now. Tempting. Very tempting. What's this again? I think we already, yeah, so that's GJ. Tagged it, now we're moving low. Still suspicious. Midnight opening is right here. We're accumulating above here. Nothing screams enter a trade on that. NAS should trade to the daily OB before moving up. So for NAS, let's look at the daily chart. You points to focus on for me, for NAS, would have been here. Like, oops, there. Didn't even come back to previous day's high. So all of that is sus. Where is it going on the upside? We already fill in most of this. $12,574. It's a nice draw. The last time I shared NAS charts, I was using something over here. I think the analysis is already there. So to not repeat any of that, then after this, we can hop to some 5-minute charts to see what's happening. DXY finally coming for this. Finally. At 106. That the hourly chart for DXY has been looking very unhealthy. Very unhealthy. We had this huge sustained rally, then everything was just building above it. This don't sit well with me. I would look at that. Gold daily chart, it's been off my radar. NAS objective met. So now we want to see if we can get to here, if it's really pushing. If not, then we could retrace. AU took buy side liquidity, but the FVG is above. Do you think it'll try to fill the FVG? AU. This is not a range on AU. This is a retracement to the range. We're breaking low. Here, these imbalances. All of these consecutive up close candles should be the draw. Just look at the imbalances here. First one would have been, can we close below that? If we can, all of this comes on the menu. We're getting, I think options has already expired for this month. But I would check for what day in this week or next week do we have volatility that could promote this idea. I haven't checked, but you definitely can. 15-minute FPG on AU. Oh, it tagged here. I see. Zoom into this price action. Prefer it on a 5-minute chart. Yeah, this would have been my model. That would have been the run. These would have been low-hanging objectives. It's now back to this candle. So FVG tag before objective is met should be high probability. That one right there. I'd look for that run here. NAS death. Something about NAS daily chart is looking very, it's creeping. It's creeping, and when NAS creeps, it's usually setting up a move. NAS never creeps in the correct direction. NAS moves very fast in the correct direction. So now, just wait for 9:30 to bolster whatever your analysis is. Just drop to a lower time frame and look at the liquidity. I like these. Maybe I'll short this. I might short that. I might short that. Previous days high rated. Did it? No. So previous days highs rated, previous days lows should pop up as some kind of draw. Because if we rate previous days high and then previous days low, previous day becomes your dealing range. That might be a little bit sketchy until you see it. So if we break here, I'd look for a retracement and then die. You could test that theory. Whenever we break here, when this gets taken, retracement, and then die. It's a nice little trade idea. But as I said earlier, I think FX pairs should be moving today. They have been moving. EU looks very nice for a short because it's running buy side. I like fading liquidity runs. Almost there. What's GU doing? finally showing up for work. Now, the fact that this has so much range to go higher makes shorting this a little bit sketchy, because this could stop on beyond that level. Or that's something that you should pay attention to. Whenever you're watching correlated pairs, and well, it could be that this is heavy and it's just not moving, but I always allow for daily FEG and EU. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at, the daily FEG as a draw. Now, when I look at it like this now, it makes me even more suspicious about EU. The fact that I think EU can trade a little bit higher than this high, simply because GU hasn't traded high enough. Then I see this daily chart, and then this 50% level is right here. EU is very heavy. It is very heavy. So I'm not bullish EU per se, but I'm hesitant to fade that. Daily CB up here. Yeah, once it gets above previous day's high, then I'm thinking turtle soup. I am thinking turtle soup. So let's see. Okay, GU starting to speed up. If GU can get here when EU gets to its hourly objective, then I'm fine. Yeah, EU previous day's high and die. That's what I'm looking at the moment. That's what I'm looking at. Very nice, though. Very, very nice. So again, here's another example of when you have a large range in London, you can frame your trading based on the extremes of London. Shorting AU. I mean, I like the idea. I can see that it's already been rated. Where is our dealing range? Here, raid push. Yeah, I like the idea of shorting above here. Not financial advice, but I like that idea too, for the person who said it. I'm not going to name any names, put anybody at risk. But I like that idea. But you have to employ restraint and wait for time. This is why I don't like Forex. I have to watch too many things. Correlated pair analysis and all that. GJ sitting. EU, GU sitting. Gold looks like GJ. Something is going on today. Watching 3 pairs to get 20 pips. Madness. I can watch 1 pair and get 20 pips or 20 points. But yeah, something is happening, and don't rush to enter any position right now, chasing any of these moves. They look like they're going somewhere, and yeah. Wait for 9:30. Even this looks suspicious. This looks suspicious, and again, all of this is derived from GU. The fact that everything looks like it's at their objective, but GU is lagging, means to me, GU should trade higher, which opens the door for these guys to go higher, or they'll just sit and wait. Either way, if it's going to sit and wait, it's not a good time to enter. Wait for it to shift and start moving. Session eyes on gold and then dump. I mean, I'm all for gold dying, all for it. Let's jump to a hourly chart for gold. I'm all for gold dying, but if gold is dying, where is it trading to? Why is it not trying to get here? Why not here? Actually, I like this, that second one better. I like this better. Asian fair value on AU. Well, I'm expecting a lot of these guys to sit and wait for time before they move. So it would be a good study for us to, on our own charts, watch, because I think this call is going to end in 4 minutes. So GU, as we get closer to time, GU creeping up into premium, which is good. EU already in premium, so just sit and wait. GJ in premium, so sit and wait. From experience, these are the times hearts get, yeah, this is when hearts get broken, because there's something you miss in your analysis. It doesn't mean that your analysis process is wrong. It just means that there's something happening that you're not aware of. Like, I don't know, pick any of these pairs that I think are going to get held until GU gets higher, and watch how, even if you find the market structure setup, let's go M1. What if you try to short here and it broke below and you said that this is an order block and you try to short here? This would chop you up unless you have a high or no, yeah, I mean, their thing, I know what you see. I know what you see, definitely. But what I'm saying is this condition is low probability to think about the shorts right now. It's at a sensitive price. It's at that point in the range, but the market analysis is suggesting that it can squeeze some more. This is lagging. So yeah, importance of higher time frame. So if I was to have multiple charts up, like this awful thing here, I would have 3 charts up and no more than 3. 2 is ideal, but 3 charts gives you a little bit more. Daily, H1, M5. That's all. Anything beyond that is you trying to validate something. Means you look at something on a monthly chart and you're looking at a 5 minute and like, month is bullish, this M5 should be bullish. It's madness. Madness. I just need my direction from a higher time frame chart, and then the rest is intraday liquidity. Still have more news at 8:45. All right. So let's see if EU screams into 1.03. So that's a lot of move for EU. And if we do get that, then it's a little bit crazy. But I'm hesitant to short EU. And I explained why. GU moving up into premium as we get closer to time. It's nice, very nice. So let's continue watching, guys, and don't be in any rush to enter a position today. Not in this condition. It's not healthy, because everything can get invalidated simply because one pair is not behaving. And when I say invalidated, they can just scream through the stop hunts and then pull back. So it's a huge wick instead of real delivery. You don't want to be trapped in that. So that ends it for another one of our TED Talks. We'll talk in the group. Enjoy the rest of your day and peace out. Remember to drop a like and subscribe.